Hello everyone and welcome to Yorkshire Tea XP, brewed in the heart of Yorkshire by three player MFL-obsessed managers, Rootcoors, Bruce Leeds and myself, Big Mr. K14. So, before we get any further, we're not pundits, we're not pros, we're just three lads with a shared obsession for progression, tactics and agency building in MFL. Each week we look to bring you laughs, insights, chaos and cuppers, tracking our journeys from raw to rare and beyond. And today is a big one, a very big one. We've got a very, very, very big birthday on the podcast today, so happy birthday, Root.
Thank you.
No jokes are inbound,
I'm not
don't
getting
worry.
too enthusiastic because I have no idea what's coming next.
It's totally fine. I mean, I surprised you during our recent live stream with a birthday present, which I thought was very generous. And there you are, exactly. So
humble, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm just going to put it out there. I got you a very nice present. I've barely taken the piss so far. But the second special thing that we've got on today's pod is we've got a very big guest. Someone who had swerved us the other week. The little boys told me, said he was too big time, couldn't be asked joining the stream and stuff. He's still hiking the prices of his shirt changes on his live stream channels. We've got the one and only Jimbo, it says here.
Go do one, lad. Go do it. I'll just leave right now. I'll go leave right now.
I'm sorry, Jimbo. I didn't write the script for today, the podcast agenda.
Yeah.
Root does that all the
do.
time. 1 second, let me just change that.
Is it
for you.
Blaze getting involved with
Jimbo.
it as well?
Yeah. I like that. I didn't
Jimbo.
write it. What do
Right.
you do, Mr. K? What do you do?
I bring the laughs, the fun, the banter, and I keep you on the right track, mate, because you often break things or you just need a bit of general direction in life in general.
You know what?
So
I can't disagree with that, to be honest.
So there you are. But anyway, going back to the main podcast. Hello, Jimbo. Nice to have you on the podcast. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, gents. Thank you for the invite. I'm looking forward to this. You've got the youthful tech support in, so if things do go wrong, hopefully I'll be able to help you boys out.
I doubt it. We're a lost cause.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I don't
if
think
you
we
can
should.
help us out, then by all means do it. Because, I mean, yeah, technology in us, one way or another, whether it's before pod, during pod, or after, every one of the 6 episodes we've done, something has gone wrong.
The live stream went smoothly, unless there's something in the background which went.
No, that did go smoothly. Yeah,
it did. I don't know how. It was the amount of messages we've had from Root for the last 48 hours. Me and Root, he'd send us like 10 messages in a row, and he'd get like a response like, "Okay." And that's what
literally. Or I'd send these messages about being prepped, and then one of them would just come in and go, "Do you want to loan my left midfielder?" I'm like, guys, really important messages. I wouldn't mind an answer to. How are we doing the giveaway? How are we doing the live? What do you want to do with your cameras? Does anyone want to loan this player? No.
And then it's either that or it's like links to tweets from my Yorkshire Tea XP account of him trying to peddle his wares, trying to flog a club, flog a player, get players out on loan. That's what he turns it into. It's going to be turn into one of those gadget sort of things where they sort of sell cheap crap on YouTube. Is our channel's going to turn into
Like
An MFL channel QVC or whatever it was. Where
every
like 30
like
seconds of selling stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be one of them at one point. I know it is. We're going to get like a sponsorship in on it. Anyway, back
we've
to
got
the
merch though, guys. Remember, we've got merch.
Yeah, I'll rate
No,
the
no,
mug.
no.
I'll rate that.
The word we. You have got merch. As you bought one for yourself.
Because you didn't respond to his messages. Like the message was like, "What's your address, lads?" And I'll send it out to you. But he went, "Nah, can you just loan this player?" And he went, "All right, I'm not going to give you any then." Like, sod you both.
To be
Yeah,
fair,
Adam was just like, "Yeah, that's nice. Can I have anybody else for $0.01?" I ignored the last time he asked me. I was like, "Nah, come on."
It's all good. It's all good. Anyway,
It's all good. Right, on track.
going back to the agenda in some weird roundabout way. How is everyone doing? How is the upcoming season shaping up for you guys? We're all getting prepped. We're all getting prepared, really. Registration's closed tonight. Well, it'll be tomorrow morning, let's be honest. They always extend it. But registrations are inbound. How are we all shaping up? Who wants to jump in and tell me how they're all shaped up for Season 9?
Guess first, Jimbo. If you want to go.
I'll fire away first. I'm really looking forward to this season. I think it's because the event starts tomorrow. That feels like that's when the season starts. Even though there's we've got 2 more days as yet from Monday to get to Wednesday, and then that's when training kicks in and the season actually starts. But I feel like tomorrow it starts because that's when there are matches. They usually be like pre-season cups, and WenDirk didn't want to do one because we didn't want to cross over with the goal rush, and people lost their rags over WenDirk crossing over to one training session about 2 seasons ago. So if we did it over a goal rush, everyone would lose their minds probably, and I'm just not asked for that. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I got my 2 teams this season, my bronze and my stone. Promoted from ice last season into stone, but I'm last season I felt was like hype wise felt a little bit lower than previous ones. I thought this one's back just sentiment changes so quickly within the game, and I'm really excited for this one. So I've got all my players are contracted and all prepared in that sense. I know what formations I'm running. With the Wyverns, the second team is literally just, they're kind of shoehorned into narrow formations or a couple of formations, but they're just the fun team. I like just not pissing around with them, but I like trying new things out. I don't mind playing like a stupidly risky setup for a match and lose, because I'm like, oh, okay, I know that's definitely a setup I shouldn't use with the main team. But no, I'm looking forward to this season.
So 3-5-2-B then, yeah?
Yeah, for the Wyverns. Yeah. For the Wyverns, yeah.
I like how you're trying to keep it super.
No, I will happily tell. I've run 3-5-2-B all the time. Like, I think there's only been maybe a season and a half, maybe 2 seasons max out of the 9 I've not ran it. I love it.
I do like it. I like it.
I like it outside of MFL, like in real life, and therefore I kind of have a bias towards playing it in MFL as well. And I'm like, if I just get the players to make it work, then I'd rather that than other things. I just don't like fullbacks either, so...
Well, you kept your boys up last season. I know you were having a bit of a torrid time. Was it Bronze League, wasn't it? You were having a bit of a torrid time, but you turned it round.
Yeah, no, they did all right, to be fair. I feel like there's some sarcastic insult in there as well, as you said that.
Well, Blades did kick your ass. I mean, let's be real.
Blades kicked my ass with the 2 draws we got against each other in the league, did he?
He came higher than you.
He was like, "Oh, Jimbo, you're not beating me yet." Well, you're not beating me either, lad. So like, where do we go there? No, I think a couple of seasons ago he did beat me, but when he came on last week, he showed you the amount of games he had where he'd concede 20 shots, score 1, and win 1-0. Like the 2 games we had with each other, I think it was a scoring draw, and I should have wiped the floor with him in each occasion. But his 4-2-4, Rory's 4-2-4 that he used last season is pretty good, to be fair. So I need Blaze to be slightly humble, because last season was me doing pretty ass and him doing really well. I just had nothing to fire back with. I just shooting blanks the whole time. But I can't give anything back. So I'm now hoping there'll be a bit of a bit more success for my side. And if I can maybe grab 3 points against him, then I can at least shush him on stream and things like that. So
I think you've got quite a strong side. You went some Wyverns in terms of a bronze team.
They are strong for
setup.
bronze. They are strong for bronze. I've been fortunate with a couple of loans I've got in, like the Georgian striker I got from Duff Apollo Sports Group. It's just like 92 pace, 93 shooting. He's got and apart from his passing, but he's in a dual striker setup, so I'm not really too concerned on his passing. Sorry, as long as he can just pass the ball 5 yards across the box from another striker, which seems to be quite a common goal this season. I'm more than happy for that.
Well, I recognise the name straight away. Go on, Bruce.
Sorry, I've got to ask, because you were the strongest team in your division last season.
I was one of the top 2, I think, or top 3. Yeah.
What went, like, serious question? I'm not taking the piss.
No. Don't worry. I ask myself every opening games as well. Like, what just?
Yeah. What went wrong? Like,
I think that I am very stubborn when it comes to changing things, and because I knew I was a stronger side, I was kind of like, I don't need to change much here. I just need to keep doing what I'm doing, and I think I'll just get the results eventually, just because of being strong. Just using like I'm just a stronger team than some people. And towards the end of the season, some folks were like, "How come you won all these games? Like, how come you beat Calber 5-0?" And I was like, "When you look at it on paper, that's not a freak result that I got against him. Maybe the extent of the scoreline, but I think I'm also just sometimes a little bit lazy when it comes to tactics. I don't do my thorough testing until the first games kick off. I'll happily accept that I'm not a tactician. My first 4 seasons of playing MFL and 3-5-2-B with the same setup was max width, highest depth, and the tightest compactness you could do, and that just was OP and just destroyed everything, like everyone for 4 seasons. And then suddenly doing the extremes didn't actually work. I had to put more time into it, and I was like, oh, brilliant, this is. But with some of the things like the heat maps and etc. coming out, which can you can get better understanding of how your players positionally fit within the field rather than watching the 2D match, which, hands up here if you've watched a full 2D match before.
No.
I mean, I've done it because I had to do it for a stream, but, it's, but you can't, I don't think you can really watch those too much and get a proper understanding of, you'd never, from watching the 2D, you'd never be able to calculate in your mind where's the player's position in and out of possession and when he's on the ball. But now with the heat maps, you can. So I think those are a little bit of a godsend in that sense. But to come back to your question, Bruce, and answer it in a short way, just being arrogant with tactics, naive and not changing them, but also just knowing that because I've got a slightly stronger team, I've got that leeway to just kind of bulldoze it in a sense.
I do exactly the same, but without the stronger team part. I do all the stubborn. I'm not changing my tactic. I know this is going to work, and when it doesn't, I stick with it. But I do think the season comes in waves, though, because the first half and the second half are always entirely different, no matter what.
Yeah. When I was watching my games, when you look at the stats, the performances were good, the results were bad, but I was like, at some point, this has to kind of change. And a few tweaks in setups, literally like moving sliders, a couple of bars to either side, mainly helped out. But when it comes to tactics corner later, my experience with the 4-1-2-1-2 has been absolutely horrendous. I'm so glad I'm not using it for Season 9. And I know I will definitely not be using it for Season 9. Because, we'll get into that later. But my time was horrendous.
Oh dear. Yeah, we'll get into Season 9 previews, I think, a bit later on.
Let's jump into it. Let's just jump in straight away. How about you then, Root? How is it shaping up for you for this season?
Yeah, to be fair, not too bad. Overhauled like my clubs. Do you want to do some screen sharing now, or are we leaving that till later? We're doing straight into season 9 now.
The question is, can we trust you to share your screen?
Yeah, well, I'm doing it this new fandangled way that I learned. So, I
don't think. Screen.
Because I was using the Riverside app and it just doesn't like it. So now I'm just doing it all in browser. And now it
you have an app on your desktop for Riverside?
Yeah, I did.
Exactly. We were just like, what's he doing?
I've never used a Riverside app. I didn't know there was one on desktop.
It's crap. So I've overhauled everything. So I'm down to like 3 clubs. Obviously, we just done the trial club, but I'm down to 3 clubs now. So I had the 6 before. I think Adam took 2 from me, and then I sold the other one, which was good. Then obviously Adam took a load of players as well because he's going to do some testing and stuff like that, which I'm sure he'll talk about in his own section. So I've just got down to my clubs I want, but I'm in a pretty good shape. So these are the 3 clubs I'm going to run. And player-wise, they're all set. They've all got the players and they need to get. I mean, I have done a lot of. I thought I was going to not really do much with my players, but I think I've brought in like 20 players in like 12 days or something like that. So I've done a big overhaul of the agency as well. Got rid of loads. So I had like pretty much 200, just over 200. So I've got rid of 50 odd, maybe something like that. And actually, the first time ever, I was just looking. I don't know if that live stream helped, but every single person's gone out on loan as well that I'm not using, apart from obviously the one that we just literally was my birthday present for Big Mr. K, that I'm going to see if I can slide him into one of my teams and loan somebody else out, because I'd like to play him, seeing as it was a gift I got. But yeah, everybody's pretty set, to be fair. So team wise, I'm quite happy with my squads, and I've been running loads of friendly testing. It's kind of going how my friendly testing always goes, but yeah, other than that, absolutely great. I think picked up a few good players as well. I think when I've been purchasing some players for the season, so like this Western guy, he's pretty decent. I picked him up for like 25, so not that bad. So I've got my agency thing down. I think I was saying to you, Adam, like we were talking about it, wasn't we, in Discord? Like our agencies, over a third of our agencies, if not more, are all like under 24, something like that. That's trying to get the age down of all the players. So there's a few higher ones that are just like in my lower clubs, but like all the ones that are these ones, like 20, 21, 22, 23, all the way down here, all where the 24s are. And then a lot of these older ones are over in my dock side, where I've just put them heavy. I think I said that I was going to do that for this season. So literally dock side, I need to get them out of Spark. So I've gone against everything that I said in the pods previously, where I wasn't going to stack them, and I've just literally stacked them so they can go up. And this is a team I care about the most anyway. So, but yeah, similar sort of random friendlies. Some going well, some not.
Ariana Grande AFC. Who that? Just go a bit to the right there, Root. Who owns that team?
I've gone into the match, but I'll just click on it in here.
Scrub.
Scrub.
At least take the background away from her.
Yeah, I mean, I beat him, so I mean, I'm like literally getting. I think there was one game that I was talking to the guys in Discord where I was like getting like 20 shots in a game. So it's a bit like what you were saying, Jimbo, where like my players are playing so well when I'm watching the games, and it's just like the end product. But I was watching the Ramble Ramble live stream the other day when Kevin that were in talking about the strikers and the match engine and about like conservative passing on the strikers and stuff. And I've been testing that out, and I don't know if you guys have done any tests on the conservative passing on the strikers, but it does really make them play better in terms of setting up goals as well and not just trying to score. And my Cam in my Dockside Tigers, he's just lethal. So like he's the main player. As I said in last season, the idea for my Cam is to get him in the box, which is why when we were doing the thing earlier and was saying I was going to run the trial club, I was like, I can't have a Cam that's got 40 shooting. I need him to be like a lot higher because he's probably the main goal scorer actually, rather than the strikers. But I'll be running my narrow formation again, like I have done from the beginning. It's not the same settings, but I just am not giving up on it because everything's a cycle in life. So one season it'll come back and it'll be thingy. And then obviously I've sent my stuff across for the Ron John challenge, which is the 4-1-2-1-2, isn't it, rather than the narrow. So literally it's the exact same as my current one, just I've just made them wide. So I've just been lazy with that. So we need to get that across.
Because you say the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow isn't very strong, yet Meta Mercenaries have won like 7 diamond leagues.
Stop. I knew that was going to come.
Like that's the formation. It's weak formation, but he's won the diamond league over and over.
Yeah, when they were talking about it the other day, and I think I was running friendlies on, was it Friday, I think, and he had a friendly running. I clicked and I looked, and he was like winning like 4-0, and it was 4-1-2-1-2, and I was like, can't really reach out and just ask for the tactic because that's not how this game works.
You can. You can. I've done it before out of curiosity.
Yeah.
You can.
But yeah, to answer the thing, I am ready to roll. I just need to sort that trial club out. So they do need to extend registrations because I need to obviously bring in another 8 players.
Yeah, they will. I'm pretty sure they will do.
So if not, then I don't have a trial club, which is going to be great.
But you can just late registration and take the -1, can't you?
Yeah, I'll figure it out. Yeah, it's only a bit of fun, that club. So see how it goes. But yeah, that's me. Who wants to go next?
Cool. Bruce, do you want to jump in with you?
Cool. I don't know if I've really got a lot to talk about because I got my team sorted like during the end of last season. I had it all pretty much set. So obviously we got the York license for our shared ownership team where we're going to try and get it up the divisions and we're going to put our own players in between the 3 of us. I'm taking it for the first season and then obviously next season we'll pass it on. This is the team that I had the most problems with.
Can I just say, sorry, I would have thought you would have given me the first season because if I go 3rd and they're in ice, then someone's going to manage them the season after in Spark. Just putting that out there.
The reason I did it is because I want the Flint trophy in my agency.
Oh, cheeky,
and I'm
right.
never ever going to get that. So I was like, this is my only opportunity to get that Flint trophy. So,
fine. Sorry, anyway, go on.
Yeah, I mean, I fixed it, but I was having so many issues. Like, in the Discord, like I've changed formations and I'm like, right, guys, I want rid of these players. These players are terrible. Get them out.
That was all right at the start.
Yeah, it was all right. It wasn't my standards all right, though. So it like, I've eventually got it all right where I'm happy with it. And yeah, we're going to play the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow. And yeah, decent team, should get promoted in Flint, I should imagine. I'll be very annoyed if it doesn't. But other than that, this team, the Fortress, thanks to Ron John, I was able to get them done quickly, started tactics immediately as soon as the thing rolled over, and I've got them to where I had them the first season, where they were basically not conceding shots, and I've been able to get the tactic back to there, because last season it was a bit of a struggle, so I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do with that. This team's pretty strong, again, playing 4-1-2-1-2 narrow. in ice, again, strong team. We should be contending. And then this is my main team, which I always look forward to the most. I've gone from my usual 4-4-2, which is my favourite, and I've switched to a 4-3-3 defence because I liked how it played. It seems to be working really well for me. And I'm looking forward to the season because of Monkey. And he said on the stream, like, he's going to stack his team a little bit to have a little bit of friendly competition. Now, this season, the last season just gone, we had pretty much equal teams, like equal strength teams. And I think towards the end, because of progression, I edged it out a little bit. But then he's done his team, and I've just looked at it. I looked at it. Oh, how much has he stacked it? And he's stacked it. so yeah, this is.
He's taking no prisoners there, is he?
Yeah, well, it's good because the one thing I didn't like last season was like, I know it's not a team he really cares about, and that's pretty crap. So I'm getting all hyped for it, and he doesn't really care. This team, he's obviously going to care about it, so it'll be a little bit more fun this season. I think the little rivalry, the little friendly rivalry that we'll have going, which I'm really looking forward to. But yeah, other than that, I was pretty much set, pretty early. Today I went out and bought a bunch of lottery tickets with what I had left in my Dapper account, just to see where they go. But other than that, yeah, I'm done, ready to go. Waiting for Wednesday with that sweet progression where I'm going to be, building it up all on Tuesday night. I can't wait to get all my +1s, and then Wednesday morning will come and there'll be nothing. So, but it's the cycle. It's what happens every year, every season. Sorry. So yeah.
Have you loaned out all them $1 ones then? Yeah, is that what you've done? Loaned them all?
No, I've bought them all for $1 and chucked them all in the dev centre.
No, okay,
and you know why? The thing is, because I've spent a lot of time in Ron John's agency, and right at the top of Ron John's agency is that Quan. And he was a $2 buy. He was 26 years old. He put him in the development centre, and now he's an ultimate. And now I'm like, well, I need to buy some more lottery tickets.
Why not?
Because, yeah. So.
Right then. Well, I've got a few clubs this season.
Every season, man.
We need to do the story of the 6 to 3 to 6 to how many?
9 now. 9. I've got 3 flint, 1 spark, 1 stone, 2 bronze, and 2 silver.
Oh, I've just
technically.
I've just seen you're managing a BFC team.
I am, yeah. I'm managing one of the BFC teams.
How do you feel about that?
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it because if I go to that particular team, I only need to get. I don't have to. There is the space for a striker basically in this squad for filling it out. But in terms of a silver team, it is very, 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 very strong for a silver team in my view. It can play. It's built for a 4-1-2-1-2. 4-2-3-1 is an option. 4-2-2 is an option. 3-5-2-B is an option. There's loads of options here. It's been built in a way that because it got built and then given to me, it's been built in a way that I've basically built the rest of my clubs. So I've got that tactical flexibility in all these different teams. So, I suppose thought process. I went down to... I can't remember how many teams I had last season. I think I had 4 teams at the start of last season. Went down to 3 because I just wasn't enjoying the team. Because I hadn't spent a lot of time building the stone club that I had, and it was awful. I just wasn't enjoying it, so I binned it off. And I actually harked back to when I first started and I was playing around in Spark and Ice and Stone and Flint for a season or 2. And I thought, I had loads of fun in there. Just these random players who were going up loads and loads and loads because I was managing their game time and I knew they'd play. And just testing wild tactics that just make no sense, but loads and loads of testing in actual games against an opponent who's actually put a team in to look to win a game. And I've got that in spades now with all these different teams. I mean, if I'm honest, these 3, one of them is more stronger than the others. I think this Flint team, is a bit stronger than the other ones. No, I've moved players around again. It's not the strongest of Flint, but it's strong for a Flint, is what I'd say. But my Spark team's ridiculous for a Spark team, is what I look at. We'll find out tomorrow, in the coming days and stuff.
Bloody hell.
In terms of... yeah, there's a lot of players that I've got here. There's a lot of that I've loaned in. People are wanting game time, a bit of rev share. I was just throwing it going, yeah, let's do it. Like, I've got a 53 here, Mr. Philip Calm, that I packed myself. He's a 62, 63 rated striker, though.
Wow.
So,
Nice.
I've thrown him in there and stuff, but I've got flexibility across all the different teams. I've kept hold of Keto for another season. I said to Bosco, because I got him relegated, with a bit of a whimper, and I said, look, let me try and sort this out for you. And I'd argue I've got a stronger club this season than next season. Go on.
No,
you giggling, Jimbo?
Yeah, just where we're like, I got him relegated. You made it sound like that was the objective of the season. I got him relegated.
Yeah.
You did it with such confidence. So, yeah, I got him relegated.
Trust me, in the team I had last season, that was an achievement in itself that I didn't finish 12th. I think I finished 9th in the end. 9th? Or 10th? I don't know. What did I finish last season? I finished 10th with a grand total of 6 wins, 4 losses, and 57 goals conceded. The team last season loved conceding a goal.
The squad you inherited was not ideal.
Awful.
Yeah.
There was like 10 or 11 players. I had 4 cams, and I was already on 70-something% rev share. So I had like nothing to put in there. I was like, oh shit. So I've sorted out the team this season. I've got a stronger team this season in Stone than I did in Iron. So see how they get on. I mean, in here I've got players like this guy. This is the guy I got from a reward pack at the beginning of the season with my MFL spend. So 16-year-old goalkeeper who's 77 rated. I mean, if he progresses, damn. But if he doesn't, I'll have to see how he gets on. So yeah, steady away in there. I'm looking forward to trying to see what I can do there with them. Then I started building my bronze teams. My bronze team's nowhere near as strong as yours, to be honest, Jimbo, but lots of different options in there. A couple of loans. I mean, I've got this one loan in on this team, so I'm keeping most of the rev share in this one because I finished 5th last season with a similar sort of team. Got some of the young players in there. No, it's not him. It's him. There he is. 18-year-old CDM. So looking for progression for these guys because I'm looking to sort of cultivate players that would move up to the silver team. Same with the other bronze team. More loans in this one, though, because I was running out of players that I needed to get in. But again, fairly strong team, generally across the board. Just one throwaway goalkeeper in the background. Silver team is taking shape. I think our silver team isn't as strong as last season, so I think we're going to have to do a little bit more work. It's 80% rev share because I've got 20. The 3 co-owners, including myself, have got 25% of the rev share in there already. And then, as I've already shown you, the Istanbul team. So yeah. I'm going to be busy on a lot of days and nights, I think.
Literally. What's the ultimate plan? Why have you done it? What? I know it's for testing, but what are you trying to achieve?
From the lower clubs, it is testing. It's for players such as, let me find him, because I'd never think of using him in a month of Sundays. Let me find him down here. Where is he? Yeah, this guy. He's called Mustafa Valant. He went out on loan last season for a 0% contract, whatever, just throw away, see if he can get some game time. And the guy in Flint, to be fair to him, played him like 17 or 18 games. He went up plus 5 in his first season.
Yeah, nice.
I've got a number of players like this where they have this sort of growth and I have nothing to do with them because the age he was at, I mean, how old is he? 23. I could put him in dev jail, 4 seasons, but he's 27 at the end of it. Do I want to do that? I'd rather sort of try and cultivate these sorts of players. So I've done that. I've just got loads of really promising young players that have shown some decent progression. I'll manage that progression now with me running those various different teams. And the ultimate goal is to continually improve the rev share so that in my MFL even, so that the amount of rev share I'm giving away at these top clubs. Last season I gave away about 28-30% of the rev share from my bronze team. It's 4 this season. I've got another one where I'm at, it's 40% rev share, but I'm getting another 60% of the rev share in bronze. We've managed to keep the rev share down a little bit in our silver team. I took home about 67k of my own earnings last season, then moved things around between the co-owners so we all got a rare player pack basically. And I'm upping those numbers. I've done a rough estimation at the moment, like middling sort of success for all the teams, and it's without cup rev share and stuff like that. About 80k-ish at the moment, and that's not taking into account the Flints and the Sparks because it's going to be nominal there.
What's the base rate you get for managing the Istanbul team? Because I know the managers there will get like a cut.
10%.
So 10%, yeah.
10%. Yeah, so at the moment it's 86. I need to get another striker in for a bit of rotation, so I'm seeing if I can get one in on a 4% contract. I actually messaged Palmer while we were doing the live stream, so spotted he had a spare guy who was 82, 83 rated, but decent stats in the right areas as a rotational piece. He's 32 as well. 4% for Palmer. He hasn't got a home at the moment. and I'm set then for that team. And then the rest of it's going to someone else in the Dow, which is good for me. And yeah, as you can see, most of the agents here are BFC Dow anyway. Most of the players, apart from the odd few. So yeah, 10% of this, and if we go to silver and go to the league and look at the rewards you get for it over here, I mean, they finished above me last season by a place. They got 64. That's 6,400 MFL finished there. I'd like to think I can push higher and be pushing this sort of range. And all of a sudden, that 10%, yeah, it's looking quite healthy.
I mean, I guess it's going to be interesting seeing which one of those clubs gets shifted to Season 9, to which league.
Yeah.
Because that could change things, not change things up, but that might, it might benefit you, it might hinder how you do for Season 9. But it's exciting to think that you're going to be a different league, though.
Oh, I'm definitely going to be in a different league, because obviously we've got the two things. I had a chat with my co-owners for our own MSC Eindhoven. We had a chat about me swapping the ownership so we could do that and not have that. But we thought, actually, it's going to just be a conflict of interest regardless of what happens.
Yeah.
So where we just went, just keep me managing both teams and let MFL do their things and move whoever to whatever league. So yeah, it could be advantageous for a team. It could not be advantageous for the other. I don't know yet. We'll see how the chips fall on that one. But yeah,
as well for those young ones. Well, not the young players, but the players that are at the bottom where you're banging them in those lower clubs. I think the interesting thing there is, I know, obviously again we talked about it off stream where you picked up some of the clubs for like $39, $45, whatever it is, and that player like you just showed, he says he was worth $1 and he's gone up that much. He goes up that much again due to his age. He's suddenly worth like $2, $3, $4, $5. That's just hypothetical. You only need like 5, 6, 7, 8 of them, and you've already got half your money back for that club that you that you bought, and it kind of is a no-brainer really, because all you're doing when you're sending them out elsewhere is you're getting at that level. If you're taking 0% anyway, you're getting nothing, are you? Apart from the progression, if they play them, and you're not getting them to do any commitment to play them either, are you?
No.
Whereas now, you will.
Exactly. And I've got, how many players? 13 players in DevGL at the moment. They're all on 4 seasons, and some of them have been in a few seasons now, but we've got lots of teenagers in there. We've got this guy, which I've just chucked straight because he was 16. He's not going to get in a team with regularity. See what happens. Just see what happens.
The thing is with him, though, 20 years old, when he comes out, it's nothing, is it?
No. Absolutely. It could put him back in DevGL.
I was going to say, they can go in DevGL more than once, can't they?
I don't know, actually. I don't know. Can they do that? I don't know. Jimbo, do you know the answer to that one?
I don't know, actually.
I don't know. I don't think... what is it? Legos can't go in DevGL either, can they?
Yeah, Legos can't go in, and then...
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe no one's done it yet. No one's been bonk enough to be around for effectively at least minimum of 5 seasons and thought, I'm going to chuck this guy back in DevGL. Because I think most people, when they're that sort of young, try and flog them, don't they? But
I imagine it'd be fine to chuck him back in. As long as it doesn't, as long as they're not, 30 and Lego, they're the 2 requirements that you can't put them in. I would no reason why you couldn't, because some people might do 16 to 20, 20 to 24. I see.
Yeah, you're only guaranteed the progression that they would get if they weren't in the jail, if they were playing and hitting all the targets. So, at the end of the day, it seems like it's fair to be able to put them back in, doesn't it?
Yeah, that 120% XP though. See what happens. Yeah, I'm enjoying just testing all these different quirky bits about the game and stuff. Anywhoosie, we've talked enough about clubs and my many clubs. So going on to our topic of the week then, gents. So we have touched on our one topic for ourselves, which is our Yorkshire Tea XP club that we've got as we've now co-own, and that Bruce is looking after this season. But I think the main topic that's everyone on the lips that's starting tomorrow is the Goal Rush. Of which we've got someone on from an opposing alliance in the pod today. But it doesn't matter how many people you get, apparently, because they adjust some of the targeting. I think a total number of goals scored, I think, is the main thing that will be impacted, won't it, if you've got a larger agency. They're going to be hitting some of those, not the milestone rewards, the leaderboard rewards. You've got more opportunity to get those. The Amazon gift cards and the MFL merch and all those raffles that they're doing and stuff. But I think everyone's really looking for those milestone rewards, aren't they? The IRL football kits, the dev centre passes. They're going to be quite nice to have. The custom pitch, I think you were after that, weren't you, Bruce?
I was going to say, am I weird for that's the thing that I want the most?
I definitely would love it.
I'm in the same boat as well. That's like one of the most... one of the ones I'm most looking forward
Yeah,
to.
I absolutely want a custom pitch. I hate going against someone and seeing they've got like snow on their pitch or like a country's flag in the centre circle. I'm like, I want that.
I think it's good how they've done that, because that was the thing I was not worried about, but I was wondering how it'd work. Because, like, you know, quite rightly, Jimbo, you guys like have got loads more players in yours than we've got. Obviously, we're brand new to this and stuff. And that's kind of like, well, how do our guys get a chance of stuff? And having those milestones as well keeps me. It doesn't really matter as how big your agency is to a degree, because some of those are really achievable just by sharing it out against a small number.
Yeah. I do want to say, if we didn't have our own alliance, I would have joined the Dirk Order.
My man.
I would have done, but we don't have our own alliance.
It's us.
Since I joined, WenDirk has been like the mainstay of the content I've watched. So
I appreciate that. You'll get some loans next season, Bruce. Big Mr. J, you can go do one.
Even before that exchange, I could have been told to do one anyway, so it's all good.
How much of it did you know about? Did you know some of it about it, Jimbo? Obviously, we got reached out to before obviously the announcement went out, and that's why we touched on our last pod. I mean, I know I don't want you to give anything away, but I know, like, obviously, clearly MFL chat with you on and off, and probably Calver when you were a duo quite a bit. Do you get involved in those in quite the early stages, or is it still towards the end?
It's still, I'd say it's probably still towards the end. It's just basically we would have got, you know, I don't know when you guys got told about it, but obviously it was from listening to your most recent episode, it was still a couple of days before they announced it on the Tuesday. So I think I did the pod episode with Matt about the trial club and that sort of stuff. And at the end of that, we said, he said, it's going to be a cool community event. And it was after we finished recording then that he told me. So I probably would have known about 3-4 days earlier. But all I would have known was the exact same stuff that you guys would know. Well, here's the premise. This is what we're going to do. And this is when it's going to be revealed. And here's some of the context. That's as much as I got told. But yeah, if anything like that pops up, like community-wise, we usually get told sort of like 4 or 5 days in advance or so.
I find that
really
interesting, and that's what the reason I asked was because, as obviously Bruce just sort of like said there, I don't want you to turn it into an interview because that's not what this is about, but like it was kind of like interesting because you guys are really big in the community and you know a lot about what the community want because you're engaging with them through live streams and through your Discord and all that kind of stuff. And if it's the way that you've obviously said it, which is really interesting because it means that they really are engaged with the community themselves because they must be in the Discords and the podcasts and the live streams to see it all firsthand if they're not reaching out to you and going, how do you think the community would react to this, or what do you think they want the most? Clearly they are really involved within it. So
yeah, when Matt said to me it was going to be an alliance one, I was like, yes, like thank you for bringing back the alliance, because I know so many of us loved the alliance tournaments done before it. Really, it's probably about a year ago since they'd last did one. It would have been like around the breakaway time and all those sort of alliances, community clash, and when we had the $1 million tournament when the marketplace hit $1 million in revenue or in sales. Sorry, that we last did one. So it's really great to be able to do them, and they just bring the community closer together even more so. And I think that's one of the strongest parts of MFL, aside from being a great game, is its community. So if we can try and leverage it as much as possible, then it's only going to have like extreme benefits across the community. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to stream on the Monday evening, like probably about 2 hours. Try and get 2 45-minute games, a little bit of build up beforehand, 2 45 minutes, and I'm going to do some on the Wednesday as well. I think the Ramble guys are going to stream on the Tuesday, so there'll be at least a couple people streaming each night, which will be really fun.
Yeah. It's 48 hours we've got, isn't it, for when it starts, to do as many as we can all do each every 45 minutes.
I think, I've not done the maths on it, but I think if, say, like 80%, 90% of your alliance is active and does one like every hour and maybe like every 45 minutes during the day, I don't think you'll find it difficult to reach most of the milestones. I think that's probably the whole point. If you look at the rewards, like the rewards you get for certain dev center passes, they're not dishing out loads of them, and then the other things that are big, like the packs, they're being raffled off. So I think most people will probably be able to get to level 6, unless High Flight just doesn't turn up. But
obviously, I've never done one of these before because obviously I've only been playing it a few seasons. So what's it like then for those people that are listening? Do you pick the club you want to play, or is it just any time you play a friendly it goes in?
Well, this format is completely different to how we've done previous Alliance ones in the past. I know I finished the end of your pod yesterday whilst getting a train and bus into Norwich, and I remember just obviously now knowing how the format works, I just couldn't stop laughing at you, Root, after like your explanation, and then Bruce, you're like, no, I'm pretty sure it's like this, and then obviously Ruth understood what it was like. But from my understanding, we're literally just going to go onto the Goal Rush page, click find a match. You're going to find it with one of your teams, and then you're just going to roll with it, and it'll have a cooldown of 45 minutes. The bit which is interesting, that I don't really think any of us know, is how they put you up against a similarly, strengthed AI team. We don't know how that is going to be. Is it going to be sort of like, your averages at the bottom of the screen? Are they just going to pick, match those? Are they going to, how they're going to do it? Are they, no, I don't think people know how that's going to work as yet, but...
No. So AI teams. So we're not against other humans, or against AI.
Yeah,
teams.
It's AI.
So these are just random players with random stats that they've got in a.
Sort of mean. None of us really know. Don't know if it's gonna. Could you match up against an AI team and suddenly, it's a one-trick pony centre back, or it's a right mid who's got 95 defending and 99 pace, because it's just they don't contribute to the overalls of those positions, or will it just be sort of a nice average?
Do you think this? And I'm going to go completely off on tangent here. Do you, like I often do in these pods, as you'll know? And I ask a lot of questions. So, do you think this is one of the things where they might start doing or start the journey towards special cards and stuff like that? Do you think that'll come at some point? I've gone completely left field. Just thinking about things like Goal Rush, and imagine you've got the top scorer of the tournament, or the top whatever. I don't know how it would work, but are we heading towards having those things, or do you think there'll always be a consistency across the colours that we have now?
What is you talking sort of going down an EAFC route, like your man of the match? What do you mean by special cards here? Players that you could still use.
Players that you can still use, yeah. So say you're doing the Goal Rush and your striker ends up just being the number one in the leaderboard entirely for it. Can that striker, because he's done something in that special competition, get a different overlay? I don't know whether that's a boot on his card or a glow behind it. I don't mean going as extreme as a so rare type special cards, or EAFC where they're evolutions or anything like that. I just mean something that kind of makes him feel different. I don't know if it's even important or to have it. I'm just wondering, it's where do we think they're going, or do you just think it is just a cool competition and the cards will just be the cards?
I think for things like this, I can't imagine anything. Maybe if you got a trophy for the player who got the most goals. It's similar to how the leagues and the cups work for the regular MFL. But on the basis that this is sort of an outside of the pyramid tournament, I can't imagine they'll go down anything route of extras. But I think it's one of those where that's not off the table, though, with anything. There's always the possibilities for that. But I don't think they probably would at this point. But I'm hoping that playing against AI maybe opens up some more of that and makes it more accessible and more convenient and easier for them to run these sort of tournaments, because people love just tournaments being run. Something I would love to do is just be able to run my own tournaments. It only takes Lucas, 5-10 minutes to set them up, but you still got to message him and say, can we have a tournament, yada yada. I'd love to just be able to create my own one, because that then it's self-serve, and we can, do you want to do a cup? Yeah, let's do it. 100 MFL enter, bang. And then it's those sort of rapid play, which I don't know if any of you three were here for the rapid play ones. Or we've done them before, technically we've done them before, where, the engine feedback ones, where it fills up, second it fills, it goes. We had them where it was one evening, a couple of evenings before season 1, where it was different caps, some of them were free, some of them weren't, and you could enter as many as you want, and it got a bit of carnage, but it was really fun though, because it was 16 teams, bang, and it was going. I remember one of them, I was trying to manage 3 cups at the same time. I had 3 teams and 3 different caps. One was free, one was paid. I was having to every 4 minutes change my tactics up to try and meet it. It was absolute carnage, but it was fun because it was chaos. So any extra tournaments we can do, I'm all for them. So ones like this, I'm loving. If I see any of my alliance with 5 at the backs, I'm going to lose my rag. No one should be playing 5 at the back in this.
I like that though, because I like the idea of doing those tournaments, because there's lots of opportunities to do it, especially second half of the season. If a lot of people haven't got through the cups and stuff like that, you end up with days where there's maybe not a game on at all, or still just your normal one game, and then like you get the mid-season as well, where the transfer window kicks in, and you've maybe got a couple of days there. I think it's quite cool because you could do really unique ones, couldn't you? Like that just lasted that day where it had random people against each other, and however it panned out, and they've all got to play under a certain, plays within a certain rating or a certain choice of formations and things like that. A bit like what we're doing with the Ron John. We've all got to play the same formation.
Yeah.
We've all got to have players in the same bracket, but it's a season-long thing. And if you could break that similar idea down into a competition that ran over a day or a couple of days over a weekend, especially over a weekend when people have got time, I think that's quite a cool thing. And like you say, if you can do it yourself as as an alliance like we've got now, they've clearly got people that they know that they trust, if you like, or that they know are engaged, and they know that have communities growing behind them. I think that is a really cool idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's loads of cool ideas though. We ran through it on a pod before, and
some great ones in there.
Yeah, like the stadium ones and stuff. I think everybody jumped on the bandwagon of that on X as well.
I hope it goes well, and I hope it means more stuff like this happens. Because, like I said, like we were talking about those suggestions, stuff like the internationals or something like that. But even if it's not that, it's just stuff to do in the off season. Because the off season's just like, bruh.
Do you know what? The internationals is a good one though. I know you brought that up, but it's a really good one because I think obviously, not that it's in competition, but the new football manager, no international management. So MFL sticks some international management in, and it's a bit of a side hustle if you want. Something like that.
I think I love it because I think there should be more stuff in the off season just for us to do. Even if they do like Jimbo says, just open it up so we can set up our own tournaments so that we can just go and we've just got stuff to do. Because at the minute, it's like once you've got your team sorted, once you've got your tactics sorted, and you know what you're going to do, you just sat waiting for Wednesday, aren't you, really?
Yes.
Just playing friendlies over and over and over. I mean, I don't know how many I played.
Some people will not even do that. They might just make up their teams in the first 48 hours or so and just not touch MFL until next Wednesday. I know people who do that. They just don't, if you're not doing tactics or the setup you've got, there's not progression to come back in the morning. There's none of that. So why wait for a bit? I was going to ask you three, unless Mr. K, look, are you good about to poise a question then, or say something?
It was about this entire event, but let's go to your question because I jumped back to it.
Yeah, sure. I was going to say, do you guys have you guys done tactics specifically for this event? Have with your setup?
Yes.
Not specifically for this event, but the way I like to play, it's probably this anyway.
I've tactic tested to see the most attacking formations that I feel I can play that I might be able to still use because I'm looking for how many chances am I creating. How many goals am I scoring? And if I'm getting games where it's like 5-4, 4-5, great, because it doesn't matter what the result is. Yeah. It's all about goals.
Just goals. So you've got a few tactics that you've deployed and you're going to, put in for...
I've thought about this.
Deployed.
Thought about this. Yeah. I'm just not going to use that word. I'm just going to keep looking for synonyms for the D word.
I just cracks me up, just deployed. It just, I don't know.
It's fine. I've positioned some of my formations in a certain way. Or I've situated them. Distributed them. I've garrisoned them. I'm looking at synonyms for
you've really,
deployed.
Yeah, I think, you've swallowed a really bad grammar book there, haven't you?
Sorry, Brandon, I'll do better next time. What I was coming on to about this event, though, I think everyone's right in terms of community engagement, something to do. Everyone's really sort of enthusiastic about it. You can tell MFL as a business and a company have ridden the wave of organic growth. Because we all sang about it, the community that's built around it, all the content, without a lot of marketing and how much this game has grown in the short time I've been here. I've worked in a business previously where they leverage the organic growth wave until you can, and then you go, right, that crest, that wave is starting to slow down. We want to keep growing, we want to keep engaging who we've currently got, retain them, and keep getting new people. And you can tell MFL have made some moves internally and got some new people in. They've broadened their scope. They're doing more marketing and stuff now. And now they're looking for things like this. They've got free trial. We've got this sort of community event. I think this is sort of a very good step that they're trying to really much manage the ecosystem in the game to keep it growing and keep it healthy and keep it moving forward. I mean, I must have had 20, 30, 20-ish sort of players last season that didn't have a home. I just couldn't get them a home anywhere. I've got 2. 20 have gone in the last 24 hours. Because I'm just 0%. If you need a player, there they are, because I've not got anywhere to go with them. and they're going. I mean, that is a really healthy sort of market. I mean, the amount of sales I'm seeing of common player packs and stuff like that, they're constantly being sold. I was surprised at how many uncommon player packs were being bought in the last 24 hours or so, because I can't help but monitor these things. The other thing I think this is genius about this is last season everyone moaned about the match engine, and obviously we need to talk about the season's match engine, general thoughts so far. Everyone who engages with this will be using the match engine a lot, because those that didn't tactic test have got a reason to actually run some friendlies, because there's potential you get a bit of sling in return. You're going to start working out what works and what doesn't. Do
you think they will, though? Do you think people will just play a match and then just, if you're at work, play a match and go?
If you
and because all you're doing is scoring goals.
Yes and no.
I'm going to devil's advocate. All you're doing is scoring goals.
Yeah.
So why would you need to look at the tactics for this?
Yes and no. Say there's a Palmer. He don't give two shits. He sets his team up. That's what it is. He doesn't agree about tactic testing. Totally fine. He's got a disposition. He's got a shit hot team. He puts it in there. Right, I played a game. What's the score? I've lost 4-0. Why have I lost 4-0? My team's shit hot. Why am I not winning? Why have that not done any better? A few little twit tinkers, not check the match and the output and the heat maps. He don't give a shit about all that. Changes something or plays it again. Plays another match, gets beat 3-0. What the fuck is going wrong? I didn't think this would be the case. I'm going to go just tweak a few things, maybe make them more aggressive. I don't know, push lines up. All of a sudden he starts winning 3-0, 2-0, 2-1. That's my tactic now. But he still tested the engine and found it's worked. D-gens like me who just constantly run friendlies all the bloody time on mobile phone, and my girlfriend's going, "Why are you on your mobile phone again?" And like, is it that Discord thing? No, I'm just running friendlies. Just play the friendly, come back 5 minutes later. Oh, that game's finished. Rematch. But I'm going to test. People are going to test it. They're going to work out the engine and work out what does work. I mean, it's not perfect. It's AI. It's not another person who's going to come in with different formations. But we're getting loads of people engaging with the match engine. And how much feedback are MFL going to get theoretically from having so many people engaging with the match engine? Well, they're going to have more time to optimise it and improve it. I think it's a bit of a win-win across the board, this one, especially with these sort of unlocked perks as you go along. Just so you know, gents, you can manage a total, if you start at 7 p.m. tomorrow, you can manage a total maximum of 64 games. If you don't sleep for 48 hours and play a game every 45 minutes. So, everyone in our particular alliance, we know what is on stake now, so get the Red Bull in, set your timers, 45 minutes, and let's do this.
Surely, Mr. K, you've found a way just to automate that. By AI or something.
Deploy some script. You're going to garrison some script up for your...
No. I will put it out there. Before heat maps came out, I developed a tool, an AI tool that generated them for me, based on MFL's data in the background. So when they told us doing heat maps, I'm like, I'm not surprised. They already had the background, the infrastructure.
Did you ever compare? Did you ever use it now and compare what you generated versus what they generated?
I can't because I could now with the heat maps and see if it is reflective. I can't do it for old games because they won't have heat maps for the old games. But I could run the tool again on the current one and see how accurate it was. But it was very interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've got loads of stuff in the background that they can tap into. But prioritisation, they've not got the biggest bloody team in the world, have they? I mean, they'll prioritise what's the most important. I think this is honestly a genius move for moving things forward, and the amount of people. I mean, I was just scanning through some of these alliances. I mean, you've got 300 there. Neps is over 400. Your guys is almost at 200 now. Quiddy's got 100. MFL-FR. There's a lot of accumulatively there. What would you say? We're around the $2,000 mark ish, roughly speaking, in terms of total users, all willing theoretically to take part. So yeah, I think it's a great move. So in terms of new match engine match plans. Any of you boys been making much use of that so far? Any thoughts on the season's match engine before we jump into Tactics Corner?
I think the worst thing is it's hard to test it, and I think what you've also almost got to do is sort of set your tactic as it would be in the match plan.
Mm-hmm.
And just run a game with that to see how it works, but even that doesn't really test it because I've got a match plan for if I'm losing, and if I'm winning. Now the one that I'm winning, I see a lot. The one where I'm losing, I've barely seen, so I don't know if it works. Because obviously when I'm losing, I want to be more attacking. I want to see if it works, if it can turn a game around, but I can't really test it, which is annoying. So I think a lot of that's going to be live in the season when the season's going on, and it won't be till season 10, maybe season 11, when we all start really starting to understand it fully, I think.
I love it. I like it.
Bastard who's like already gone through it.
I've used it quite a lot, and then trying to figure out like if I'm 1-0 down, 2-0 down, 1-0 up, 2-0 up, and then I think I was saying to you guys like I realised I had to make a draw one, because if I went 1-0 up and they came back to a draw, it didn't look like it switched back to my starting tactics unless I'm mistaken. But so I put a draw one in there. Thing for me is it's that unknown, isn't it? So like it's like what you were saying earlier, like you back your team, Jimbo, no matter what. And it's like, so if I go 1-0 down and I've got a match plan of X, how do I know my original match plan wouldn't have just been better to carry on, and it was just unfortunate to go 1-0 down, and I'm then guaranteed to change it? And I've done a chunk of testing, and I'm like, when you're a bit of a control freak like me, it's real tricky, because I'm like, okay, or if I've gone 1-0 up, I've seen me go 1-0 up and then not change anything, 2-0 up and change it. Then they come back to 2-2, and I'm like, would they come back to 2-2 if I hadn't have changed it? So I almost, but then I can't just go to replay, because you think, oh, just turn the slides off and go to replay. Variants, all those kind of things. It's not just as simple as that. I need to be able to play the match the same, but with that added bit. And it's obviously it's an impossibility.
Can I just say, if you were 2-0 up and you changed your match plan and it went back to 2-2, I would say that match plan doesn't work.
Well, obviously it doesn't work. But what I mean is, if I didn't change the match plan, would I still gone back to 2-2? That's my point.
Right.
Are you saying you've always, every time you go 2-0 up, you never go back to 2-2? Is that what you're telling me? You're like,
no, my one for when I'm winning, that I've got, I'm winning, now do this, it's worked every time.
But what about before that? When you didn't have this option, when you went 2-0 up, you could come back to 2-2.
I mean, you've seen my teams, right? You've seen where
you just played like ultra defensive, boring, unattacking football. Yeah, I know. I've seen it.
I play extremely attacking football, actually. Thank you very much.
How about you, Jimbo? Have you been experimenting with the new match plans at all? Or?
Well, the first one I created was like just park the bus. I think it's probably everyone's first. How does this match plan like feature work? Let me just use one that if I'm 2-0 up or 3-0 up, whatever, we'll just park the bus. And originally I hadn't really tested it too much. Like I hadn't used them, and I was finding actually when I'm playing against other people in my testing, if I see they're using match plans, and I sort of feel at a disadvantage because they're being able to make changes and I'm not. So I really should try and do something else. At the moment, I've just got two set up, literally basic ones. So if I go 2-0 up, 2-0 down, to try and adjust things. But like you said, Bruce, unless you test those setups from the start of a game, then how do you know if that's the right setup to use to evolve and to change into? So I think it'll be one of those that as people will learn as the season goes on how to make adjustments. But it's also like if I make adjustment, but so does my opponent. Like have we just like cancelled out each other and there's no changes have been made? It's it's just one of those. But I look. Are you
going into the season using them or not using them?
I think I'll stay with my two I've got currently of 2-0 up, 2-0 down, and if I need to make any other changes, I probably will do that. Maybe do a draw one, like in case I was 2-0 down, bring it back. Want to maybe like hold for a point in that sense.
A draw one is a really good one because I had, like I say, I had a 1-0 up one, and then when they scored again, I was still on the 1-0 up one, so I just made a draw one, which is literally set exactly like my opening tactic.
Yeah.
And I think and I found that really did actually help, ironically, because then I could then try and get 2-1 again, but I didn't want to have one where. Are you using the times, or are you just any time?
Yeah, so I've got any time at the moment, but now I've got any time at the moment, but now just thinking about it, I really should just set like the trailing and the winning ones, especially the winning one to like plus 75 minutes, because that's in the last 8 seasons, we've all been winning games. You can see at the end, you go, oh, only if I could just be a bit more defensive. That's the perfect time, the match plan to create now, rather than trying to make ones that kick in after 5, 10, 35, 72 minutes. I think there's some key ones you can do that will benefit you, and then once you've got familiar with those, you can try and do the anytime ones. Because anytime ones, I reckon you've got a better chance of pissing it up than you have not, and that's like with most of the tactics in MFL.
I think that's the key. That's what I was saying. So like when I was giving the example when Bruce just decided to piss all over my fire, but like when I was saying I'm 2-0 up, I'm like, you're 2-0 up in 15 minutes. Then you've got a match plan that gets you defensive, but all that means is for for 70 minutes you're on the back foot.
Yeah.
So it doesn't
Obviously.
work. I was right.
No, but if you'd have done that at the end of the game,
It would, yeah, I agree.
It would potentially be, because it might have took them, I don't know, it might have took them 60 minutes to get the goal. I'm just hypothetically out here. So Jimbo's right, like bang it in at the 70th minute. If you're still 2-0 up, now part of the bus, or 65, however early you want to do it. But I think that it's getting away from those any times and only using the any time, like the draw one. Clearly you want to do it as any time, because if they bring it back to a draw, go back to
drawing at like 1 minute in.
Say again.
If you do draw on
Yeah.
any time,
Yeah.
they kick off, you're drawing.
Yeah, so at 1 minute it just establishes the same setting you had, so it's irrelevant.
Okay,
But when you,
right.
yeah, that's what I noticed. But the fact was still then, if you went 1-0 up and then it came back to 1-1 and the draw kicked in again, because I always start quite attacking. So what my point is with this one is, again, it depends how you set off from the outset. Because I set off quite attacking, if I then have draw, if I go 1-0 up and they manage to get it back to 1-1, I want to go back to my original tactic, which was attacking. I don't want it to be anything different. And a bit like what I was saying there, if I go 1-0 down, I might actually put my attacking tendency on. Because they're interesting things that we started talking about last time when it's about players, wasn't it? Like,
We did get confirmation. It doesn't affect player instruction. It doesn't affect
nice.
individual. Like, it's just
Nice.
team mentality that it affects.
just team mentality. I still like, so on that though, so if you've got like so say you've got attacking tendencies attacking, then you have a player on attacking, it's irrelevant. It just cancels each other out. It just is, it's not extra attacking. Yeah, that's what we've got. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I'd assume so.
Yeah. What are you laughing at, Jimbo?
No, I
Like,
was just no.
Is it Roots like
No,
like
I
has
just-
no idea about tactics at all?
No,
I
I
get it.
we're just saying like, does it make them extra attacking? I was
Yeah,
like, I wish they
know.
could, but you know.
Yeah, but I have said this before. Like, you get a setting like cross more often, and then you put it on a player. Does he cross more often?
Are you just expecting him to
what?
get the ball and like first touch out of his feet, second one just bang every time, bang, bang, bang.
Cross more often, squared.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've not been using the match situational stuff at all. What do they call it again?
Match
I've just not
plans.
been. The match plans. I've not been engaging with it at the moment because I'm not gonna. I deliberately got the extra clubs in particular for low down the league because I spent a lot of time doing tactic testing, trying to get me out of the engine and having lots of different tactics that I'm happy using. I almost said it. And lots of tactics I like using and setting up with. But also, I like to work out what tactic is good against another tactic, and then adding that extra up of the match plans. I cross everything else out first. I want to be happy with my overall tactical setups and what I'm going to use from different clubs. Then I can start that mentality of. So at the moment, my match plans would be set up for specific opponents. So if I was against a very weak opponent and I'm not winning by this time point, okay, let's push everything up a bit. Let's be a bit more aggressive. And the same idea from coming up against a very strong opponent. Okay, if I happen to be drawing by insert, 70th minute, lock it down a bit more. If I happen to be winning somehow, how do I hold the ball a bit more and just slow the play down? And all these different ideas and see if they actually work. But I'll test it with the lower teams and see if it actually works first, because I don't care if it doesn't work. Because the lower down the pyramid, not really invest a load of time. I just want game time for these guys, and then I can start using them in the better teams higher up the pyramid against the better managers and see if it actually does work. I'm of the mindset at the moment that I don't know enough of the match engine yet to know if my match plans are actually working, because I'm not 100% yet if all my tactics are working. Not at this stage of the season, because I think I've had a couple of seasons now where I've got the best tactic. Because look, I did the averages one season, 30 games, X number of goals per game, X number of XG, all these different things. And then after, 5 days, they made some amendments to the match engine, and it shit the bed. And 352B didn't work anymore. Having long shot on 50% of your team didn't work anymore. So yeah, it's just one of those. I'm going to wait until I'm a bit more confident about it, because hopefully it's an addition that's here to stay. See what I can slowly eke out of it, and just see if I can get any of my players on attack or defend a bit more as we move forward.
Funny.
It's fine. We'll look after you, Grandad. Right, so we're now on to Tactics Corner. So our featured formation this week was 4-1-2-1-2. Jimbo, it sounded like you absolutely loved it. So would you like to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. Why not? So
Let's do it.
So I have the ability to run 4-1-2-1-2 anyway
You gonna
because
share some screen?
hang on, hold up. You know, be patient here, sir. I will get that.
We'll just
screen.
talk you through how to do it. You have to click share. and then click on which screen. Just so you know.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with this platform, so I might just need that instructions again, please.
Yeah, it's okay. It's at the bottom of your screen. It says share.
Yeah. Right, here we go. So for context, this is the Wentz and Wyvern team, which is sort of like a top 25% bronze side. I think that's probably worthwhile context to add.
I think that's fair.
So, and I didn't want to do any tactics for this that were too personalised to my team. Like, for example, I now have a very strong right side. It wouldn't seem fair to just put like all of my right side, go down the right flank, have all the individual instructions benefit them, because if people want to listen to this and take some of those tactics, which, skip to the end, don't, then it's not going to make sense of them. So I'm going to just go to all matches here so you guys can see the results, and I can go into tactics afterwards. So, actually, it doesn't look as so bad here, but if I just fast forward, this is about 2 hours ago, it did get pretty diabolical at one point. I'm talking 8 games there, win 1, draws. And for context, Phoenix Park Rangers and Andy Official's Cap Haitian team are like 15 to 20 overalls worse than the Wyvern, which is why I was getting a bit frustrated, because it wasn't like last season where I just have the caliber to get through it. Added context that the Wyverns aren't built for 4-1-2-1-2. I always loved 2 CDMs, and 4-1-2-1-2 doesn't have that. But the setup that I ended up running was I captained my striker. I'm a big fan of captaining strikers. For me, it's either a striker or a goalkeeper. I know some people are like, why do your goalkeeper? I just think if you have a strong goalkeeper, it can be quite an OP position if it's quite high overall.
Fully agree.
If I put it on Volpe, goes to an 86, which I think for bronze is pretty darn good for a goalkeeper. That's the thing I had a little bit of a moment with was the CDM, where my CDMs, neither of them are the quickest CDMs, but together they work, but individually they can be a bit isolated in this formation where it's only one CDM. So Trosh, for example, he's 70 pace, and I think he's a pretty darn good CDM, but I like to have another CDM next to him who has more passing, for example. And I do have that in Valenti, but he's 46 pace. And I would just say off the rip, you don't want a slow CDM in this formation, just because you need someone who can get around a bit and not hold you down in that midfield. But from a team instruction point of view, you can see I tried a lot of damn things here. I initially started off just with all balance. I just removed every single player instruction and was like, right, let's just go with that. Yeah. So this is where we see where I think for the most part, people like a little bit of width in their instructions. I would say, I could be completely wrong, done no research on this, but I reckon the majority of people have over 50% width in their sides. That's just what I personally believe. None of you are nodding your heads there, so you probably all have lower than 50% width. So there we go.
That's not helping you.
No. I went with this episode. For those who are listening, it's gone with directness, balance on the flank preference, less long shots, crossing and dribbling more often, and then attacking tendency to balance. I went take less long shots. This is probably a setting I've had across my setups for the last 4 or 5 seasons. It did used to be pretty good, I think, for the first 1 to 3, 4 seasons, but then with how the engine's been panning out this year, with that conservative setting on the striker and with a lot of goals being scored within the box, the last thing I want is my players taking boomer hits from 40 odd yards and just wasted opportunities. And I did notice that where I'd have a lot of shots but piss all XG. When I had this on take more long shots, at one point I had this all on everything on the max, is then like take more often, and that was when I was just drawing games, losing games. And I was looking at them, and actually my players are taking pot shots from anywhere and not getting into many good places. I put the width on very wide. I love starting off with extremes and just narrowing it down. I think it's probably it makes tactics testing for me fun. More fun. The depth of my side I put to probably about, what's that, the third lowest, fourth lowest. I would have put it higher, but with the players I have, they are actually pretty quick defenders. And when I go show you some of the personal stats, I did initially have them high, but I just think even if you have it high, when you play against 88 plus strikers, which for the most part a lot of people do have, like a lot of the good teams will have fast strikers, they still just rinse you. I was playing Rory's 4-2-4 relentlessly, and it's probably the worst team to play against, really, because Rory's on it with tactics, and if it's on it with 4-2-4, I thought 4-2-2 would have right against it, but it's absolutely smashed me in most departments. I'm rarely going more aggressive for the fact that if I get a red card, I'm just kicking myself for having that tactic turned on or that setting turned on. Play out defence and trigger the press. But you guys probably want to know maybe some of the individual instructions here. I made one change in the setup, which I think actually benefited my results. So I swapped the left centre-back and the right-back around. So for context, this left centre-back, Albino de Almeida, he's an 84 rated right-back and 84 rated centre-back. So it's a really powerful player, and he's got 88 pace, 89 defence, and 6'5". And I always used to play him as a right-back because the right-back I'm currently using, which I'm not going to pronounce his name, Milutin, will use his first name. I got him in the reward pack from a rare this season, which is I'm really chuffed about with that age and that overall. But he's an 83 centre back, so maybe I'll try and make the most of him at centre back. But I actually found that quite a lot of the time when I was playing this formation, that a lot of the chances I was conceding were like through the balls through the middle to faster strikers. So I thought, well, let me just change the centre back over, which obviously I have the benefit of fortunately be able to do that, and put the quicker centre back in the middle there. And he stopped. I'm seeing less goals being conceded through the middle. And as I say that in my head, I'm going, actually, does that mean people play with more narrow setups rather than wide setups? Completely contradicting what I said about 5 minutes ago. But a base setup I have on my back four is like positional freedom, attacking tendency, just gets smashed to low and more defensive. I just think it's, try and make a brick of a back four or a back whatever line I've got, and do that. The CDMs on controlled with positional freedom of low. I try not to go too gung-ho with the individual instructions, because a bit like match plans, I feel like you got a higher chance of ruining them than you have making a negative impact on your setup rather than benefiting it. This season, the engine I've noticed, and also last season, risky passing can be quite beneficial to your setup. So all on that front middle three, left mid, cam, right mid. I'm pretty sure I have to double check this before I contradict myself. But I know on the right mid, I've got risky and high freedom, risky passing on the cam, and then risky passing on the left mid as well. That's just personal preference, but I feel like it suits a double striker setup nicely.
Jimbo,
yeah.
Just a question. Why is there a reason you put the left mid on low and the right mid on high? Position freedom. Is there a reason?
It's more so catered towards this, like, my team here that I was testing with, that my left side is slightly weaker and this left midfielder has more defence than the other one, so I'd like, it's almost, I don't want to get caught out on that left side, because I knew if anyone was testing against me whilst doing this, they might target that right side. That's something that I've done previously, where if I've got a left and a right mid and one's got higher defending than the other and it's on the weaker side of my formation, I will try and keep them a bit more defensive in that sense. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but that's just a personal preference. And I don't like having all five going up. I like having one staying down, but it's something that I just play around with as well. So, good question and good one to point out on there, that I do have the differences in those two. The strikers, conservative positional freedom high. I'm pretty sure that's the same on both. Conservative positional freedom high. I'm sure you three have seen it. A lot of goals where some risky passing gets, across whatever comes across across the box, hits that back post or wherever that striker is. He either takes the first touch and it's in, or he just settles it to the other striker and they just whip it in. But I'll be completely honest, I had an absolute nightmare with this. But I'm glad that I've done it, because I know it's a formation that I just will not use for Season 9 with my own players. I think that's the key I have to highlight here, folks, that these are my players not suited for this formation, which is a very key bit before people go, maybe you just not got a good setup. I just don't think my players are suited for a 4-1-2-1-2. My players are suited, I think, for a 3-5-2-B, which is what I've ran. But even in some of these games, I was just getting absolutely smashed through the middle by Andy's side. And then when I changed things around, beat some Yorkshire lad here, White Rose Peacocks, everyone owns that team. Might want to change the setup there, deploy something different.
Go to that 3-1 game, because when I was looking at your team, I thought, I'll throw a friendly game when we started the stream up, and I thought, look at your third goal, it's in the second half. It's the only goal in the second half.
Third goal, there we go.
There it is. This was a corker, this one. Because I was watching it, I was like, what the hell just happened there? It's a quality finish. Quality goalkeeping as well. But yeah.
What are all those guys doing here in the corner?
No idea. I was watching. I was watching it going, what the fuck is going on here? Like, what are they doing? What are they expecting? Like, wait, they're going to charge the corner kick or something? I just like, what is going on? Like, why are they all hanging out there? Because look at all of them, 4 of them.
It feels like in NFL when, they're going for the kick and they just, like the +1 or whatever, and they go to they all run out trying to block it.
I've got no idea what they're doing there, because I watched it and went, where's all my guys? And I was like, why is there 3, 4 of them there? And then the goal itself.
This shouldn't offend people. We should probably send to the report bug channel, because if this becomes a reoccurring behaviour, there's going to be a few rattled people. Imagine if I had high positional freedom on the centre backs here, and there's just like 4 lads in the box, no one marking them.
Your defensive setup makes a lot of sense. Like, who's on the back at the moment in case of the counter attack? No fucking worry there, is there?
Oh yeah,
they're all dicking around near the corner here on a party. I was sat there just like, what is going on?
Also, please ignore the numbering on my players. I've got number 9, 10, 11 all at the back. I just like to piss around with my numbers, and I think it's funny. So yeah, I know I've not got my 3 attacking players at the halfway line defending a corner. That's just how I number them, because I think it's a bit confusing for managers.
Keeper's always a 69, is he?
Yeah, 69, 96. I let the stream as well, like they can come in and
the stream do it, don't they?
They've not done it for a while, but I've seen quite a few goals like that where the keeper will parry it into his own net, and and it's one that it's like super frustrating, but also like it does happen quite a lot as well.
It would be more on that feedback on that one. If he parried it into the other corner, I would have gone, that makes more sense. That one just looked odd.
Yeah.
But whatever. It was more the little corner routine.
He's parrying back across himself.
It was like the love train that was going on near the corner flag. I was sat there just going, what are they doing?
Love train.
So yeah, no idea what was going on there, but it was quite funny to watch.
Yeah. So I had a torrid time with it, and then I introduced some match plans and changed to having a quicker middle 2 of the back 4, and I seem to pick up in results. So I don't know if that's maybe saying that because it's got the 1 CDM, it's a little bit exposed in the centre there, and it needs a bit more cover. And if you've not got a quick, a quick CDM or a CDM with not much physical who couldn't, sprint for a decent amount of time. But I would have thought with a quick centre back pairing and high physical, it would be all right. But I hope you 3 have had better testing with this 4-1-2-1-2. Because I think I've just told everyone what not to do with a 4-1-2-1-2 rather than what.
It's the fact you said that. It's the fact you said that. A route just going.
I saw the list of the 3 formations and I went, "Do not be the 3-4-2-1," because I own no centre forwards. I was like, "Don't be that formation," because I genuinely.
I chose it. I chose it because I knew no one would have it.
I can't run it. I could, but it would be like, well, I'm having to put in players here who will take like a -5 or 6 hit, which isn't a very
Yeah, the tweet went out and I voted immediately that formation, and it was like only 100% votes for this one. Right then, who wants to go next then? Who wants to go through theirs?
I can, but I'm going to be quite negative about it.
Okay, it's not just me doesn't like the formation. You saying you don't like the formation either?
I just don't like the formation.
No, I think
it's just
I wouldn't choose it. I wouldn't normally choose it looking at it. I don't like the idea of my middle of the park being so open.
Yeah, it just feels
I hate
exposed,
that.
doesn't it?
Yeah, I just don't like that. But that's where my mentality and how I set my team up came into shape.
Okay, so I didn't have to do loads of tests because I actually ran this a couple of seasons ago for an entire season, and I hated it then, and not much has changed. So I didn't run loads. As you can see, the results are all right. I only lost one, and it was this one. Even these draws, I'll show you the draws. I'll just show you the stats. We were always like. Statistically, we were always the better team. We were creating better chances than our opponents. And even in this one that we lost, like, we created more chances and we just lost. I think what I want to really talk about is some of the stuff with the engine and what's going on. Because as you see, I've completely outperformed, but then this year they've got 5 shots on target and 4 of them go in. I think goalkeepers have regressed back to the previous engine because I really fucking loved OP goalkeepers making 10 saves a game. I loved that. I had no problem with it ever. But I think it seems to have regressed and we're getting more of this. I know they were trying to reduce... Did they say they were trying to reduce the shots or the amount of goals scored or something for their averages or something? So I imagine that's why it's happened. But I'm seeing... Because I've tested a lot, not just with this formation, but I'm seeing a lot of 1 shot on target, 1 goal. And it infuriates me. I want to show you the first 3 goals because we've all touched on it in this, and I'm just going to show you the first 3 goals in this game that they all score, and you can see they're all very similar. Comes out here.
Can you make it bigger?
Put your glasses on, lad.
Yeah, put your glasses
Come
on.
on, Jimbo,
Right.
you're better than that.
I'll go put mine on as well, just to make you feel better.
Is that big enough?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. You see, it's played out here onto the out wide, and then he just smashes it across. Guy at the back post, and then you're going to see again over here this exact same thing for this goal. He's going to get it on this side. Does he come over on the right side? I think he does. No, he switches it over to the left. They're going to run
like that
down
play,
here
though.
and then watch it again.
That's
Plays
beautiful.
it.
What's your problem?
I'm just saying it's happening a lot.
That was like watching Prime
Like-
Barca, that one.
I'm seeing it in a lot of games on both sides. So I'm just, for the people that don't test, the people that can't be bothered to test, this is going to happen a lot.
Wow,
So I
that
think
was
in
a
the-
lovely ball, that.
I think in the early season, if you can work out how to A, stop it, and B, do it, you're going to have a massive advantage for the start of this season. I think so. I just wanted to highlight that because we have touched on it briefly throughout the pod about these goals. I've seen it so many times. So be wary of it. If you don't test, those goals are going to happen a lot. In this formation, I was trying to use a different team, but in all my teams, I either didn't have a cam or I didn't have wide players. So I went with this one because I've still got a guy here he's still 75 if I put him as captain. And I went with these team instructions. I went straight in the middle because when you go out wide, this middle area is no man's land. There's no one there. So I stick it in the middle. Just went direct. Just went all these here and then more offensive because I like to score goals. Another thing I wanted to touch on about, I mean, just in case the MFL team listen, but seeing all of our tactic testings and seeing Jimbo do it as well, this is kind of meta. And I think something needs to be done about this because just about everybody runs with this. Trigger press more often and balanced aggressive. I think something needs to happen where everyone isn't doing this, and maybe less often is beneficial. Maybe it is, but no one's trying it. No one's doing it. And whenever I've gone to balance trigger press, it always just seems to get worse results. So I think they should really, for future iterations, because I don't like anything that's meta. Like, it's like everyone's doing the exact same thing. I think that's a slippery slope we shouldn't go on. So this is something we should probably look at, making this a bit more effective in situations, making more aggressive, more effective in some situations. And I think that's something that should probably be looked at because I think every instruction should have its use. And right now, it doesn't feel like these do because everyone just runs triggered more often and balanced. So I don't know what you guys think about that.
Do you not think this when that's individual instructions become more important, where you can put in the middle for aggressiveness, but then you can focus aggressiveness on, say, like your CDM or your left back or whoever.
I fully agree, because that's what I do.
Yeah,
I do that, but it's like...
I see your point, though, from the base team setting, it seems that people are reluctant to put it on less aggressive or more aggressive because the opportunity cost of doing so is greater than keeping it in the middle.
Exactly.
So if anyone just keeps it in the middle, I mean, is that maybe how MFL envision it? Should it be is in the middle, then you can pick what you want? But I see where you come from with it, though. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think anything that becomes meta is bad, because then you get like FM tactics where it's like download this tactic and it works for every team, and I think that's something that MFL should avoid. So if something's becoming meta and everyone's using those instructions, maybe work out a way so that it's beneficial to not. Because if like I said, if I put them down to middle, it just on the trigger press, it just doesn't seem as effective. You lose more games. So you
have some players overriding that though, or not?
Yeah, like I said,
in my team, yeah.
Sometimes I'll have a guy with good physical who I'll put more aggressive because it does.
I mean,
help.
like the press one particularly, because I agree with you. Every team I ever see that someone's talking about has obviously more trigger press, but obviously bad advocate. But on my team, I will have some people that I change back down to balanced, and defensively, I actually find that works on some of those players, changing that down. So like your centre backs don't run out of position, or your especially if against a wide team. So your full backs, if they stay on balance rather than more aggressive and you overriding it, you have more of a chance of keeping a left winger or a right winger at bay. Because sometimes if they press them, they get out of position really quick.
Well, a couple of seasons ago, I used to use it on my defenders. Because if they were on more pressing and they'd run out of position, so I'd put it on my defenders, and then the next engine came, and I put it on my defenders, and then they just kept going backwards. And it was a long shot engine. It was the long shot engine where I stopped using it on my defenders because they just moved backwards, and then 30-yard ping into the top corner. So I stopped using it, and every time I've tried to go back to trigger press less often on my defenders, my defense just seems to be too passive, and we just either get dribbled through or someone bangs a long shot, which I really don't like. But yeah, goalkeeper again, put it on this again. This is again something else that seems pretty meta, because if your goalkeeper kicks it long, it's coming back the other way, and 9 times out of 10 it's going to end up in a goal conceded. Centre backs, low position, more defensive. Fullbacks, I just put them on balanced, because in this one you don't really need the width. In 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, I get my width from my fullbacks and push my fullbacks up. But with the right and left mid, you don't need it, so I just put them on balanced. My CDM, just more defensive. Right mid, told him to cross more often and risky passing because he's got good passing. This one, ignore. This is just because he's good dribbler. And on the left, just tell him to cross more often. My cam, put him dribble more often and risky passing. And my strikers, this is because I saw the same thing as you guys with a conservative passing for the playing it across. And I've tried it on a couple of other teams as well. And in this one, I find I wasn't scoring goals like that, where my striker would come and play it across. I mean, I've left it on there. I should probably take it off because I wasn't scoring the goals that I was looking for. So I think the conservative passing does work, like Kev said, but I think it's paired with something else to make it even more effective. There's another setting that makes it even more effective, because in this one, it didn't seem to do what I was wanting it to do. We scored goals in other ways with this team. There's a lot of one-on-ones because of the direct play. And yeah, I just did the same. But like I said, I'd probably take this off because we weren't scoring those goals. But overall, I mean, the results were good. We played well. I just don't like it. I'm not a fan of this formation at all. It's not one I'm ever going to use. It's a bit shit. Not a fan.
I'll jump into mine because one of the teams that I'm looking after is the BFC Dow team in Istanbul, and it was sent over to me with the team built. And I was told when it was sent over to me, built it with the idea of 4-1-2-1-2 wide. That's what it was built for. So I thought, okay, what can I run in that team? And I've worked out I can play like 4 different formations. Great, let's start testing it. And I went, initially, I got, I think the first time I put 4-1-2-1-2 in was first time I got matched up against one of Work the Spaces teams. And this is also a silver team, but it is a filthy, filthy silver team in terms of what he's got.
Oh, that centre forward is if he centre forward is nuts, by the way.
What?
Yeah. I know. What? I love this. I love the 4-3-3 false 9. I wish I could play it. I just don't have centre forwards for it. Or if I do see a centre forward, I'm like,
disgusting.
Oh, it's dirty. So I matched up again in the first game, and I was sort of playing around with the tactical setup a little bit. Matched him fairly evenly for the first game. Did lose. Second game, same idea again. Got blown out in the last one after tweaking a few bits and went, right, I'm going to stop playing that team so I'm not getting very far. And I went and had a look at my tactical setup, and as you can see, lots of positive results after that point. And there's, I think, out of these teams, 3 are gold teams that are stronger than, on average, than the team that I've currently got. So this one in particular, I think, was also playing 4-2-1-2 wide, and overall is just a stronger team, but we beat them, and also fairly comfortably, if I'm honest. We got the goal fairly late on. But this is where I went, okay, I automatically set my tactics to what I was doing last season. I just went for default straight away. So naturally, like everyone, I go very, very narrow with my attacking width. I don't really. I dicked around with it. But what I was doing is I was either 50% or I was about 40% last season. I never went more, because as soon as I started doing that, it created holes in my back line and the balls were getting played through them. And that last season, that's what killed you all the time. Stay with direct, try balance, don't like controlled in this sort of style of formation, because I'm not playing percentage plays in terms of possession football here. I'm going to get killed in the middle if I try that. No, I don't like long shots, because long shots just don't seem to work. I am a big advocate for cross more often. I think it works well in lots and lots of engines, so I do keep it on. And I think that idea that you were speaking of earlier, Bruce, about getting your striker to pass to the other striker, I've had so many instances where my calm or the other wingers go into the back post, drop the ball, and they either take the shot themselves, because it's a good chance because I've got less long shots on. So the idea in my mind is they're taking less low XG shots, they're trying to take higher XG chances, or they're squaring it across, and a cross can be effectively in the air or across the ground. That was my thinking. So I had more crossing more often across my team, and I've got a lot of assists from one striker to another, the winger or even the fullbacks getting in on the act. I've got games where I've tested this and the fullbacks have got 2 or 3 assists because they're getting the ball in and we're getting overloads. For the defensive setup, I like the compactness. What I have deviated away from was playing a slightly higher line, because in this formation, middle of the park, in front of that back 4, you've got one guy. That's it. And if I'm allowing teams to come at me and I keep dropping back, they get just pulled out of positions, because by the time the rest of the team has come back to start helping, they're starting getting runners going off anywhere. Often you've got a winger to play against on both sides. You might have 1 or 2 strikers. There's too many holes appearing. So I push them up with this baseline of what everyone does, as you were saying before, with the trigger the press and the aggressiveness and I prefer play out defence because I don't like giving the teams the ball back too often, but each to their own. But I put this line higher up, and suddenly, in terms of like how we were playing the games, we were controlling the games. You did get caught out with the ball in behind a faster striker. It's going to happen regardless of how low your line is at some point. So I was just like, well, fuck that. I'm going to give them less chance to do that. I'm just going to keep the ball on top of them and keep going direct. So I did that. It turned out quite nicely in terms of how I have this. My left mid, right mid, and my fullbacks, nothing. I want them to naturally sort of drop into defensive positions and move forward, because if it goes to this guy here, DM, or the cam, they're offering more options because they're going to be up there. I tried with high positional freedom here, and what I saw on a number of occasions is the ball would be here in possession, or maybe here, and the winger would either fuck off to the corner flag or fuck off to my corner flag. And I literally watched the highlight, and I was watching it. It was a goal actually, but I watched number 11 run back beyond my defensive line, and I was watching it going, who's number 11? What's he doing? Where's he going? And literally, the attack's going that way, and he's fucked off that way for some reason. So I've no idea what's going on with that. So I've removed high positional freedom in a lot of players. Standard for the goalkeeper, control player defence. More defensive, I only use low positional freedom in 3 of the back formations for the central defender, because when I do low positional freedom, if this ball goes over here and this fullback's out of position, they will just stand there and watch that player attack the box.
You need to reshare your tab, by the way.
Yeah,
there you go.
There you go. Thank you, Fres.
No worries.
But yeah, I've literally watched where on low positional freedom for a centre back, him sit there and watch the ball being out here as they go score or just play it across. So I only do low positional freedom on my centre backs if I've got 3 at the back and the centre one does to hold some shape. DM, I don't have pacey DMs, and I think in this formation I don't want them buggering off as well. To sit, hold, be more defensive. If I had the sort of player I thought he could be, like last year I had a DM that had 96 passing, I'd have risky passing on, 100%. I think that's a no-brainer. Nothing on the wingers, because what I'd want them to do is cross more often. In some formations, I'm actually noticing dribble more often is really OP this year. So it was a consideration, but I just kept it fairly standard, because these guys are sort of the fulcrum of the team moving up and down, like getting back to help defence or helping progress the ball at the field to the more attacking players. The Cam are more offensive. He's the third man runner into the box and usually overloading. And the same for the strikers, because I don't want them doing long shots. I don't want them taking long shots, because even with, is he this guy that's got stupid shooting? 97 shooting, long shots. He wasn't getting them on target. Doesn't matter if he's got 97 shooting, he's not hitting the target, so I just got rid of it. So I've sort of gone really simple in terms of individual instructions, but just tried to think about overall, where do I want my team to be predominantly playing, given that I've only got this sort of defensive unit here, and I want them up here, getting the ball back early and quickly getting the ball forward. And so far, it's worked out pretty well in terms of the team. I've also tested it with my bronze team, same setup in terms of friendlies, as you'll see the couple with Jimbo, but even same, I started pushing the defensive lines up, and I was beating silver teams with a great deal of regularity. So I was just like, I think there's something to that. I think it was interesting because I could see from watching when we were playing in these friendly here, you've got a really low block line, and your defenders are so much more stronger and faster than average defenders. That the amount of blocks that were taking place for my strikers was really apparent. So it's like, okay, I like the idea of going away and tinkering with the formation and seeing if I can counter what you're doing there with that low block. And like, what would I do there then? So that's going to be an interesting one. Because if it's a low block, what would you do? Risky passing, maybe more long shots. I don't know. It's an interesting one. I like the 4-1-2-1-2. I think it is a viable formation this year, but you've got to be prepared for the fact you will concede counter-attacking goals. I think that's just the nature of that sort of formation. High risk, high reward sort of vibe. So, Root, come on then, dazzle us.
I just do have a quick question. How have you got a
Go for it.
pitch on Istanbul?
No idea.
If the previous club owner had one, until you change it to one of yours, it will keep the previous preset. Yeah.
I don't have any.
Yeah.
I don't have any. It just happens to be there.
If Mr. K was to change it now, he wouldn't be able to get that back.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I don't even know how you change it, to be fair, but it's there.
Bottom right of your pitch on your tactics.
I don't think I'll have any, but no, I won't. I won't get ready for the Dow because they might not be happy with me. But yeah, go on then, Root. Let's do it.
Right, let's do it. Mine won't take as long, but you know, I'm actually happy with where mine's landed, and I just did another friendly while I was watching you guys, and it's a winning again. So I think I'm quite happy where it's landed. So we'll see. Which one do I want to do? Not that one. That's what we're doing there. Share this tab.
To be fair, testing with 10 players is interesting.
I'm trying to fill out the other one before 11, trying to get some people in, but no one wants to give anybody. So I started testing it around here somewhere. So a draw, win, loss, win, and then lots of losses, which I learned from, and then now getting some wins. But it's playing really well as well now. I don't know if that last one I've just done is finished playing out. But I'll show the tactic that I've landed on. But I'm quite happy with how it's playing. So team instructions, slightly wider, balanced, less long shots, and then overriding it with some of the players, which we'll come on to. I always do dribble left often. I think when you're lower sides, just dribble left often just seems to work better for me. No one's very good at dribbling, and those that are, everyone else lets them down anyway, so it's pointless. And then a bit like what you were saying, Bruce, in terms of more often and balance is literally how it is. But I do override them more often and aggressive.
We've like in every single tactic testing we've done, I've noticed that we've always done more often and balance. I'm like,
yeah, always.
Like it's.
I will try and make one work in the opposite way next time. whatever
Right,
it is, I'll try and go opposite. I'll try and do the opposite and see if I
Trigger
can get
less
to work
often
out of
and more
curiosity.
aggressive. Just
Yeah, more aggressive, less often, and play the ball often. Apparently.
Interestingly, in this one, I found clear the ball often not working as well as it did last match engine.
I will agree. I will agree.
Yeah.
It's not as effective, this engine.
No, so I used it last. I didn't use it the season before, and then last season you mentioned it. Well, right, quite a few pods ago now. So when I put it on, and I noticed instantly it was just better.
Yeah, it's not effective now.
Yeah, but certainly not this time round. Certainly with these, I mean, I've only done tactic testing with this team, so it's the only one I could kind of get everyone into the positions. To be fair, so I was quite happy with that. So yeah, but clear the ball more often isn't working. I didn't try anything with directness, but I did try having like take more long shots on and stuff, and cross more often. Again, on the last match engine, cross more often seemed better. So, but on this one, it just wasn't doing anything for me. It was actually worse. And then I just tried putting cross more often on some individual players, and seeing how that played out. So. This is obviously how it looks, same as yours. Standard, like you said, meta, everything. Every season I just do that. And it works because more often than not you get like 90, if not 100% passing from the keeper and they don't make any mistakes. So what I've been toying with and the results is I bring in the trigger pest down, which is what I was talking about. So all the back line, the trigger pressure is back to balanced. And again, when I'm running this with this team, it seems to work better. I actually had the fullbacks on more offensive. And I was scoring more, but obviously conceding more, as you can imagine. But that's probably because the centre-backs are just not good enough to hold the line. But I do like how it plays better when I'm on more offensive. And with my stronger teams, I'm certainly utilising that on one or both the flanks. And I'm fine talking about my other teams because the chance of me being up against someone that's watching this pod at the moment is probably slim. So I'm fine with that. But I do like the more offensive how it works with the full-backs. It actually gets them pulling it into the mids. And then what I would normally do, so again, in the tactic testing, not so much, but if I know I'm going up against a team of wingers, I always bang more aggressive on here, on the left back, the right back, and the wingers, because it does really help with the balls rolling down the wings. Conservative, low, and balanced. Again, I talked about balance. Low is just because, again, on medium, and when I was looking at the heat maps, my centre backs were like living here, and I can't have them living there. And I don't think that's because my depth is very high, because it's not even pushed up that much. So I'd expect them to be living like around where they are on the thing, just ahead of the 18-yard box. But when it was on medium, they were literally pushing right up here out of position all the time.
Are you sure that's not because they're on balanced mentality?
When I brought what here?
No, the attacking tendency. Because they're on
It might be. Maybe.
But maybe that's why they're going up a little bit. Because like I say, I always put them on more defensive because I want them defending. I don't want them going forward at all.
I could try putting them on more defensive and with the low freedom as well. You mean?
Well, I mean, I just think more defensive will make them sit back further regardless. I'm just saying because you're saying they're going up, and I'm thinking maybe it's because they're on balance, so they're more likely to join attacks, I suppose.
Yeah. I did toy with when I had my CDM on more defensive, he pulled back and they kind of almost three of them sat together. But I'll try them on more defense and run some stuff. But I'm not. They're actually playing all right now with the rest of the team. Mm-hmm. So then standard thing here, just low freedom. I always have my CDM if I've got one of them on low, just to hold it. These guys are on risky passing, just to get the ball, trying to make some diagonal balls into the box. I had them on offensive, again, that worked really nice, but left loads of space in the middle. So it was like, games were like a lot higher scoring. Cam, balanced long shots, so overriding the low long shots. So all three of the strikers are unbalanced, so they don't take long shots, but they're not taking any. And then more offensive and high, just to get in the box really and act as that third striker. And then this is kind of where I did loads of testing with my other teams and just inherited in here. So having balanced long shots, passing conservative, more offensive. Every one of these teams, including my ones, cut the ball back all the time, a lot. So when I had that on balance, they didn't do it. And when I had that obviously on team instructions, they didn't do it. So the combination of balanced and conservative is what I'm finding is giving me the cutbacks. Right. Now, be interested. I'm going to catch up with Kevin in some DMs. We said we'd catch up with each other to see how he's doing similar. But I'm quite happy to share it with everybody that's listening and try it out themselves. But that kind of combo on my strikers, if you watch any of my highlights, they're literally more goals than not is a cutback for the strikers. Not everyone, but lots of them. And then results-wise, like I said, just picking up results now with this exact setup. So I've played loads from about here. So I was trying to break it like I always do every week. So if it's going well, I then try and break it to learn, which I clearly managed to break it. And then these 3 results here is pretty much the same formation I had here, which is what you're seeing now. So I actually liked it. I thought it played really well to a point that I would absolutely consider doing it. So what I probably would do with the Downtown Cowboys is pretty much like, if I know I'm going up against a team with wingers, like a 4-3-3 or something like that, I'd be more inclined to push my centre mids out, like so they become that, rather than obviously how my normal tactic would be, which was this one where the duck ticked in. I would probably push them out if they've got wingers as well, and I think it will help, because those results that I was finding in here, if we have a look at some of the results, so like this one, I think they're playing these are obviously still, these are wingers, right? So again, pushing these guys out, I think really helps that. So I liked it. I know you guys didn't like it, but I really liked the 4-1-2-1-2 wide for that team. But I think, again, I've done a bit like what Jimbo said. I've done tactic tests in the past where I haven't had any players to put in. And this is one of the times where I have been able to put left mids and right mids in, even though if they weren't amazing. And it absolutely makes a massive difference. And it's not just that. It's having the right players in the right roles. So, like, it's all right when you're tactic testing, but if you don't have someone that's got the right physicality or the right height or the right passing or whatever, and you're doing tactic testing, it's all narrative in it. It's how it pans out. It's not always straightforward. And I think that's one of the takeaways people need to do from this. Like, we're doing tactic testing because it's fun, share our vision, but you could use my tactic, I could use yours, and you'd get completely different results maybe.
I was just about to say, I think your tactic testing starts at squad building.
Yeah.
Like Jimbo said earlier, like, you've got to have the right players. If you don't have the right players, it doesn't matter if you try to force them into a 4-1-2-1-2. It just won't work because you haven't got the right players.
Right then, gents. Well, thanks for sharing. There was plenty to go on there. I think a few people, I've seen a lot of people when I've been testing myself using a 4-1-2-1-2. Using a 4-1-2-1-2. So I think it is a formation that people are leaning into a little bit more this year. I mean, other ones I've seen quite a few of. I've still seen a lot of 4-3-3s, defensive attacking variants of that. I feel like the 4-3-3 attack isn't very good this year. I have to say, I feel like I can overpower that quite quickly.
Yeah.
4-2-3-1 seems strong. I've seen a lot of 4-2-2s, and they seem to be doing okay as well. They seem to be problematic. Tend to concede a lot of goals with that one. So yeah, it's an interesting one to go into. It sounds like the whatever the meta is, it seems quite varied this season at the moment, which is good, because I didn't like last year's with 4-3-3s being OP.
I think it's all. I think with the formations, because I agree with what Monkey says. Like, I think you can get any formation to work.
Yeah.
I really do think you can, and it's meta is basically just the easiest one. I think it is, but you can get the other ones to work. They're not completely dead. Like this one, it's not a bad formation. I just don't like it personally.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. I had to change a lot of my general principles of how I set my teams up to make the 4-1-2-1-2 work quite a bit. So it is interesting. But as I say, I've got a team that was already sort of pre-built that way, so I was sort of in an advantageous position, because before then, because I hadn't quite got the DAO until about 24, 48 hours ago, and I started testing a little before that, and I was like, not really enthusiastic about this formation. But yeah, if you've got suggestions for formations for next week you want us to test, guys, let us know. We'll happily probably put a poll out on Twitter, do you reckon, Roo, and see what people think. Yeah, throw a few ideas out there, but if you've got one you particularly do want, let us know, because we're totally up for trying a bit of everything, really. So if you do want to see us do the 4-3-2-1, let us know. We'll see how we can roll that one out. Last thing we'll cover before we see about wrapping things up, gents, because I think we're already crouching. Yeah, we're just crouching 2 hours, and we don't be here all night.
We never get to 1.5 hours. We're never going to do it.
Never.
We need Calver for 1 week. We need Calver for 1 week just to get us.
He'll force you to do
1.5 hours is a sweet spot. Sorry,
it's hard to do an hour and a half. I will admit, like you just keep going on and on. And then
you could
easily. You look at the time and you go, oh, we've got like 40 minutes until we like hit an hour and a half, and suddenly, oh, it's 10 minutes till 2 hours. Like that middle bit just goes like super quick. But you do, get Calver on and just He'll make you stick to the 90 minutes.
I'll be Calva next week. I'll have to do my hair properly though. Get a hairdryer out, and I'll sit there and just be going, time, next topic, move on, next. Anyway, last thing we'll cover is we won't have progression as of yet, obviously for this coming season. But if you've got any high potential players, if you like, you've already seen progression in, or you're hopeful about, if you want to shout them out, feel free to basically throw your screen up and let's have a look at them. Basically. I've already shown one of mine, which is that 16-year-old goalkeeper. But most of my other youngsters I've shown on previous pods, so I'm not going to jump into them yet. I'm hoping for a bit more progression this season because mine was a bit slow last year, I felt, in general. But anybody want to throw any of those out there?
I've got one I could chuck in first here.
Let's do it.
This is Mr. Graham Hudson, who is currently a 68 rated player, and since being minted has averaged +3 a season.
Very nice.
I can't remember how many seasons back there is now. 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. Like season 3.5. I think mid-season, I chucked him onto the Wyverns purely for training XP. He went up +3 with just training XP, and from second half of the season, I went, this guy has to go in dev jail 120%. I was like, I've just got to send him in there. So he came out at the age of 22. And he got +2 that 2 seasons ago, and then he got +3 last season. So I'm kind of hoping that he just hits that minimum of +3 a season. He is one of those guys that you wake up and every other day he's got a +1. Doesn't matter if it might be in, shooting, or it might be in pace or something. Pace isn't irrelevant to a CDM, but shooting, which isn't going to contribute massively to his overall increasing, but the fact you see a green number and an arrow just gives you that big old dopamine hit that goes, yes, there's some progression in there. So he is without a doubt my most excited player that I'm looking forward to for this season. The other one is my highest rated player in my agency, Mr. Dominic Drozd, on the basis that this guy, I think, I'm hoping he goes up to at least an 89 in his career. If we make the assumption he hit Prime Age at 26, we'll just say, then I think he might have at least one more in him. But I purchased him between he was 24 and 25, so he was an 432 rated player then. This just feels like ages ago now. Yeah, 22nd of April for $185. And he's another one of those fun players like Mr. Hudson, where you check every other day and he goes up a +1. But he's going up the +1s in his higher stats, so he'll just bang +3 in passing in a season, +3 in dribbling, +3 in pace. He kind of just sticks to those 3 attributes and nothing else goes up, which is kind of great. But he's got 76 shooting, and last season he got 0 goals, 15 assists. So all he can do is pass the ball. He can't shoot. He's dreadful at shooting. But his progression's been tidy, very nice. Nothing crazy like the other people. I mean, that is kind of a crazy graph, but I've only inherited it for the last 4 or 5 overalls.
Yeah.
So it's a bit different if I had owned this player from mint from 70 was at 1 rated all the way to 87. That's a completely different story. But I'm hoping someone like Hudson will be able to do that. But they're 2 players that I'm looking forward to this season. And now I've probably shouted them out. They're probably going to do piss all this season. One final one. This is my biggest stinker in my agency. I've shouted this guy many a time, Mr. Pascal Trinidad, and this is the most painful graph I think I've seen for quite a while in a player. And I always say I would hate to have seen the money I was being offered before he hit 20, getting +3 every season. As a 19-year-old, I probably would have had +$300 offered on him at that rate, I would have thought. But he has not gone up a single stat across those 5 seasons. Apart from last season, he went a +1 in dribbling. But that's all he's done across that time is nothing at all. So he apparently defending, but I don't give a toss about defending on a striker. So that doesn't count in my eyes. That's null and void. But yeah, that's just one of the most painful graphs I have. And I always tell myself, he'll come through this season. No, he won't. He won't. He's the biggest fraud in my agency. But I love him though. There's something about he's one of my favourite players, but he's an absolute fraud.
We have to add in that in now, Jen. So yeah, we're going to have your biggest progressing, your biggest fraud. We need to have that in there now to balance things out slightly. How about I think you two, Bruce? Let's do it.
Yeah. I've got one, which is the one on the screen now, which I'm just super disappointed about. So this is the one we talked about last season where he just had a massive rise, and then he's now doing nothing, a bit like what you just said there, Jimbo. Obviously, hopefully, it doesn't continue. But I had massive hopes for him over those seasons since I got him, thinking he's just going to keep going and going and going, and then just nothing. Nothing at all.
It's not looking good,
And then this guy, I really want him to kick on because I absolutely love this player. He scores a lot of goals in the friendlies I've got. He was good last season. He's the star man of the Dockside Tigers as the cam. He gets into the box. He can finish. I'm not bothered about him passing. He's a cam. He's just got to score. He's just brilliant, absolute brilliant player. And I just want to see this graph now that he's like the starter, because last season in the Rum Lads he was a bit of a rotation, but for the Dockside he's the main man. And I'm just hoping that this just continues, but actually starts to go up and up. And it's just those two I wanted to shout out. Like, I love progression.
Your problem is he's now in Spark.
I know, but
that is your problem.
Let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
The thing
is, his passing goes up, he'll start jumping up in ratings because he's well-rounded in the other stats or overpowered in those stats. It's his passing.
I don't know if he's ever done anything with passing. I don't know.
He doesn't like the passing drills on the training ground. He doesn't like
this. It's the scoring he's all about. This is what I want him to do. He's literally my third striker, so I know what you're saying to get him up, but yeah, they're the only two really. I think other than that, whatever happens with the rest is just nice to get. But I would love to see Mr. Hen just go up and up, because obviously the idea is all those Dockside Tigers. If I can get promoted, I'll just keep all those same players hopefully next season in Ice, because that team is good enough to be in Ice just about. And obviously, Rum Lads now should be really good enough for Ice, because I've loaded them like with mostly all 70s now. So it might be that I have to go out and get some people. I don't loan anybody. So it's my biggest problem. So I end up just like taking the bank balance down to get players. I need to learn that loaning's fine. I'm great for loaning out, but loaning in, unless Bruce or Mr. K say they want to chuck somebody my way, I don't often loan in. Anybody else?
I've only got one, and it's not like anything amazing like yours. It's just a couple of seasons ago. I've mentioned him before. I got him here in the mid-season pack drop in a standard pack. Packed him, and then he's gone 2, and he went 2 last season. I'm hoping that continues and gets him to an 84, and then put him on Lego Watch. I also think he looks a lot like Jimbo in an Ipswich kit.
This is the one you're on about. See, when I was listening to this yesterday, so I couldn't watch it, and I was like, I have to see who this player is. You mentioned the Ipswich colours, and I nearly threw up on the bus, which probably would have made the bus smell better and the seats look better. But
he's a handsome-looking chap. I don't see the issue.
I don't think that's far away from what I look like. I think that's
What's his height?
He is 5'10".
Nah, too big.
Too big. Fuck off.
But yeah, other than him, I mean, others are just going. It's so weird because I've got such weird graphs on my players. Like Moskalenko, he was going up. I mean, I bought him here, but you could look at his graph. He's just plodding along. He's got nothing, and then he's gone +3, and I'm like, is that going to happen again this season? And I've got a lot of players like that. Where it's like
it's stats. I've been looking at players like this for progression. When you've got players where they've got very well-rounded stats, like Hudson, he goes up +1 or 2 in a couple of attributes, and all of a sudden his overall ticks over because he's not far off that overall. Whereas you've got players like that Moskalenko, where he's heavily weighted in his pace and shooting, what you want, but his physical's really low. He's going to have to get jacked in his physical to start jumping those higher overalls because it's like an anchor holding them down. Yeah. And I think that's a lot for a lot of these players. I mean, nothing to say they can't get stats in the right areas, but I think it takes longer in players like that. Like that striker you've got on loan this year, Jimbo. I had him in my Silver Club last year. I loaned him in from Duff as well.
Did you?
And he went up +1 last season. He had a great season, but he's so heavily weighted in his stats for his pace and his shooting for an 84, like 90 and 94, 92 or something.
Yeah.
And his physical's like the low 70s.
Yeah.
He got quite a few in his physical last season. He triggered and went up to Ultimate towards the end of the season. No, Lego towards the end of the season. That's where he needs to get the stats to keep increasing.
Yeah, I hope with that player, if he can bolster up his physical, be a really strong player, particularly for bronze, and also, or more so, that they introduce into the engine that centre-backs will utilise their physical more for strikers. So is that something I will see if I'm playing against a back four, back three, back five, whatever it is, with high physical centre-backs? Will I see his performance drop and he becomes, irrelevant and he gets locked out the game, marked out the game, strength out the game? But in ones where maybe a couple managers, have like the one-trick pony centre-backs, as I call them, just a crazy high defending, which boosts the overall.
Yeah.
I'll have that player, 83 rated, 95 defending, but it's got 52 physical. And they're the sort of centre-backs that striker's going to absolutely revel against. Hopefully so, and he'll bag a couple of goals in. But
yeah. Awesome. Right then, gents, I think that takes us to time then. End of the podcast. So what we need for everyone, if you're listening out there, thanks for all the support we've had so far. We've had a great amount of support on the pods so far. We're really enjoying doing these. Best of luck, gents, for the start of the season. And to you out there, make sure you are registered. More than anything else, don't forget that one. Let us know what tactics you want us to test for next week, with the start of the season kicking off on Wednesday. I don't know about you boys, but I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be like a second full-time job now, I think, for me more so than ever. But anyway, best of luck, gents. Jimbo, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate you jumping on the time and making time for us. But yeah, anything else for anyone else before we wrap it up?
I was just going to say a big thank you for having me on and been loving the episode so far, guys. Generally, the content is great. Keep it up. The cohesion you three have and the banter between you shows, and it is great. So thank you for having me on, but thank you for the content you're producing, and keep up with it.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Right, until next week then, guys. Thanks for tuning in and listening. Let us know what you think about it, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers out. See you later, guys.
Bosh.
Bosh?